What's going on, Workday Warriors? Max Zane here, and I wanted to spend some time talking about uh, just things I learned throughout my exercise training workout career in the last 15 years that I think will help you guys. Because everyone who I talk to, I always ask them what their goals are, and it's always pretty much the same thing, whether girls or guys. A lot of times it's like, I want to get that, as a guy, I want to get that Hollywood physique, or want to get that, Zac Efron is kind of the hot thing right now this season, right? Or girls are always telling me, oh, I want to look like that Instagram model who has, a really nice butt, or I want to go after, look like the Victoria's Secret angel model, right? And the reality is that a lot of them, what they don't realize is that these people do a lot of heavy lifting. Um, and I'm talking about, the basic compound movements like your bench press, deadlift, squats, pull-ups, military press, right? These guys can lift a lot of weight. And in order to look like that, you have to be able to lift a good amount of weight. So Victoria's Secret model, Miranda Kerr, she does 4 days of heavy lifting. The workout regimen for a Victoria's Secret angel model, they are able to deadlift up to 200 pounds, right? And these girls are not huge, but they can lift a lot of weight. Same with a lot of the Hollywood physiques in the guys, in the guy aspect, right? You want to be able to build a lot of muscle, so you're able to burn more fat throughout the day, have a higher metabolic rate, right? So when you're just sitting in the office, you're not you're burning more calories than you would if you didn't have all that muscle. So training and muscle is important for that kind of physique that a lot of people try to attain. One thing to keep in mind, guys, as a girl, you're not going to get insanely bulky. You're not. You just don't have the genetic makeup that guys do, right? Girls have 1/16 of the testosterone that males do, and testosterone is the key hormone for muscle development. The people that you tend to see who are extremely muscular in those magazines and on TV, those people take a lot of drugs in order to look like that. They had testosterone enhancements or on steroids, in order to look at that level like a guy. They're usually taking something, right? The people that a lot of girls strive for, like the Victoria's Secret models or the girls on Instagram, they are able to lift a lot of weight, but they're not super bulky, right? And they do that through heavy compound movements and training in order to look toned and defined. So that being said, let me go through the 5 key tips that I recommend and I always look at. I always think you always have to keep in mind when you're training. Sorry guys, I had to move. There was just too much background noise. But onto the 5 major tips when it comes to training. Number 1, always have a goal in mind. When I say a goal, have a physique that you want to achieve. Think of what that physique looks like, right? I know a lot of people, for example, they do tons of cardio, they do tons of running, but they want to look like Miranda Kerr, or they want to look like Zac Efron, or they have these physiques that they really want to attain, but they're doing workouts that don't necessarily go towards that physique, right? For example, if you want to have a long distance runner physique, then you should be doing long distance running, right? And that's what you should be attaining for. If you want to have like a more like toned muscular physique, you should be doing something that those athletes go for, right? Like a sprinter, for example, their bodies are generally more toned, more strong, more muscular, right? So you should be going for those types of workouts. Just think about those kinds of things when you're doing your training and you're exercising. And number 2, well, not number 2, but on the lines of your goals, when you go to the gym, have a goal in mind, right? Like today, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna do legs, and I know what exercises I want to do legs. Right? I want to do my quads, my hamstrings, my glutes. I want to hit my calves. I want to hit those particular muscle groups when I have a goal in mind. I don't go to the gym and just walk around and say, "Oh, that machine looks good. Let me try that." Or that guy's really buff. Maybe I should do that. Or that girl got a really nice butt. Maybe I should do the same exercise as her. No, you have a goal in mind when you go to the gym and you execute on that goal, right? You have your exercises that you want to hit. You make sure you hit those. So always have something that you're trying to focus on when you're at the gym, and target that area, right? Go in there with a goal. Maybe if your goal is to lose weight or burn some fat, do some hit cardio for that day. Number two, guys, please, please, please do this. Proper form and technique. That's number two. I have so many people who always ask me, like, Max, how do I build more biceps, or how do I build shoulders, or how do I build chest, and I give them a very simple answer: bicep curls, chest, incline dumbbell press or regular bench press, shoulders, military press. A very simple answer. But the reality is that form and technique matter, right? The way you do a bicep curl, whether you curl like a hammer grip or whether you curl supinated grip, it's gonna make a difference. It's gonna be a difference on how your muscles are developed. Whether you're jerking around, which I don't recommend when you're doing, for example, a lift, it's gonna also determine how your muscles are developed, right? So anytime you do a lift, I always recommend going full range of motion and going controlled. Counting 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Don't go too fast. Don't overexert yourself. Don't jerk yourself. Don't be bending in certain places that you're not supposed to be bending, right? For example, arching your back in a deadlift, right? Doing things in the proper form and technique and in a controlled manner, right? Because the last thing I want to see is some person go into the gym and just pick up the heaviest dumbbells they can find and try to like force up a bicep curl. That's not good for their joints. It's not good for their body. It's not good in terms of longevity, and it's not helping them build muscle and get more defined and stronger, right? They're just putting a lot of damage on their joints at the end of the day. A lot of times, don't be so focused on the actual amount of weight. Be focused on how you feel, how your muscles feel during a workout, and progressively work up, right? Focus on the technique, and then work up. Because if you do it that way, your exercise career is going to last much longer than someone who goes in the gym and just tries to jerk things around, doesn't know what they're doing, right? And also to keep in mind with the form and technique, always do warm-up sets before you do your actual, max lift and things, and your maximum workout, right? I always try to do at least 2 to 3 warm-up sets where you're focused on that exercise. So for example, I'm gonna do bench press. I should be focused. I should do 2 to 3 warm-up sets on my bench press first with 50% weight. So that means that maybe if I do like a 150-pound incline bench press, then I'm doing like 75 pounds instead. And I'm really focused on that technique. I'm really focusing on muscle activation, right? Which muscles are activating, and making sure that it's that right feeling before I'm actually going to the heavier weights. So make sure you also warm up properly before you get into the exercise. All right, number 3, guys, work hard when you're at the gym. And this doesn't apply to everyone. This applies to some people, but I know a lot of you guys bust your butts at the gym, and but I also see a lot of people who kind of just go to the gym, they kind of half-ass it, right? They don't necessarily put in as much effort as they should. And when you're in the gym, my philosophy is be in there for a good 45 minutes to 60 minutes and just, be done with. Go hard. Make sure you're progressing, you're tracking your lifts, you're You're growing in your skill sets, and you're also growing in your lifts, right? You're lifting more every few weeks or every week, right? Try to go up higher, right? And be focused. Don't You're not there to chit chat. You know, if you have a workout partner, that's awesome. I always encourage that, but make sure that they're there to encourage you. They're there to keep you accountable, and they're there to just kind of work with you, but not there to have a full-on conversation. I always try to steer away from full conversations when I'm at the gym. People who know me, when I'm there working out, I'm kind of in the zone. I'll maybe have a quick chat, but that's it. And at the end of the day, listen to your body. If most of the time you're just there and your muscles didn't feel like they got a good workout, that chances are you didn't get a good workout. Chances are that you probably needed to rest a little bit less and push yourself a little bit more. Number 4, don't work out too long. Don't spend too much time lifting and exercising in the gym, because you're gonna burn out. I don't believe that you need to spend more than 45 minutes to 60 minutes max on your workouts. That's it, right? After that, you're just gonna overdrive your muscles, and you're doing more damage and more harm than what's really necessary. If you're working out hard and you're going at it, you really just need 45 minutes to an hour. Everyone's busy, right? We all got lives to live, and no one wants to think of the gym as a huge time sink. Like, if I'm working out 5 days a week, that's 5 hours a week. And that's 5% of my entire week that I'm working out, right? And that's how I should be looking at it. I shouldn't be thinking that, in order to attain the physique that I want, I need 2 to 3 hours of gym time every day. That's not the case. You should be there for, an hour and at most, and just call it that, right? But make sure that you're working hard during that hour and you're maximizing that time. Number 5, the last one that I want to leave you guys with is rest and protein. So when you're training, or you're in the gym working out, what you're doing there is you're breaking down muscle, right? And what you're hoping for is rebuilding some of that muscle. That's your goal. Now, you're in the gym, you break down muscle, but you actually rebuild muscle when you're sleeping, right? When you're resting. It's times when you're not lifting, you're rebuilding muscle. Actually, 90% of the muscle that you rebuild is during your sleep. So make sure you get adequate amount of sleep, which anywhere from at least 7 hours, if not 8 to 9 hours of sleep is recommended. Make sure you get your sleep, because then you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot working out and not rebuilding that muscle if you're not getting your adequate amount of sleep, right? Also, protein is key. Protein is the essential building blocks, and you need protein in order to build muscle and to look toned and to look stronger. And what I recommend anyone starting off is, just, if you don't know how much protein you should be eating, go by grams and go by pounds, right? How much you weigh in pounds equals how many grams of protein you want to be eating per day. You don't want to lose fat and muscle at the same time, right? You want to maintain as much lean mass as you can in the form of muscle, and burn as much fat at the same time as you can. So in that aspect, protein is going to help you tremendously. It's going to help you retain your muscle, which is going to help you burn more fat through the laws of thermodynamics. When you have more muscle, it's just going to increase your metabolism and all that. And then from there on, you're in a slight caloric deficit. You could burn fat, you can retain the muscle, you can look toned. It really comes down to doing things properly when it comes to training. And these are some of the fundamental pillars for training, right? Like, these are really, really important. Those are my 5 tips when it comes to having a great physique. It's people like you that I do these videos for, and if you like it, just subscribe, and it'll encourage me to come out with more videos. And I hope you guys found this useful. If there's any sort of comments or anything that really stuck out to you, leave a comment. If you have questions, leave a question in the comment box below. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. All right, peace.